Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
A center hung pivot. Okay, I can talk to you about that.
Are you Richard?
I am.
Richard, I saw your video on YouTube.
Okay.
And that was a long time ago, wasn't it, I guess?
Oh, there's more than one.
Oh, it's good. Anyway, so you had a video on the Rickson center hung pivot set. And I found it very helpful. But I noticed on your website you have also ABH.
Yes.
What's your opinion?
Oh, ABH all the way. It's
Okay.
Yeah, it's that simple. There's no reason to buy Rickson if you can get it from ABH.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I mean, I trust you. Just by watching your video, you seem like you know what you're talking about, and you cared enough to put it up there. So I want to give you the business, and just wanted to get your input.
Well, okay, so let's give me an opportunity to earn that. What probe me deeper? What's the, I mean, because ABH all the way, it's just that what that
it was
means.
Rickson. It was Rickson in your video. But
Well, it wasn't Rickson, but the guy who started ABH came out of Rickson.
Got it.
So, and it's by no coincidence that a 370 by Rickson is an 0370 by ABH. So since the products meet the identical requirements, specifications, and it's a cost thing, go with ABH.
Not?
Why not?
Why not save the money? Absolutely. Well, that makes sense, and that's why I called, because I click the link, go to your website, and you have ABH at the top. So I figured something was going on there, and I'm more than happy to do that, comfortable with that. And I just started this process where I just had this idea of putting a door in, and it's an interior door with a nice fancy glass in it, and I didn't want regular hinges, you know what I mean? So I just started this process a few days ago, and then ended up seeing your video, which helped me understand the hardware, the hinges, how that all works. So that was very helpful.
And the door is going to swing in both directions, I take?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to talk about how you're going to treat the edges of the door?
No, I mean, you were pretty thorough in the video. I know I got a bevel the outside edge of the door, and then the hinge edge of the door I got to do a little bit more, right?
Well, if it's double acting, you would radius. You would consider radiusing. Yeah. You would radius both styles if it's going to swing in and out.
Oh, okay. On the hinge side, right?
Well, on both sides. So you.
But more on the hinge side?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
It's just going to be a matter of. So first of all, are you going to radius the door, or are you going to leave it square edged?
No, definitely radius it.
Okay. And what is the construction of the door?
Wood.
Right, but is it solid lumber? Is it veneer?
I actually haven't bought the door yet, but I'm going to try to do solid lumber.
Okay. Are you going to paint the door?
Yeah, I'm going to paint it white.
Okay. So none of that matters since you're going to paint it. Now, once you place the order, I'm happy to toss it into AutoCAD, and I can send you the dimensions that you need at a minimum between the lock style and the strike jam and the hinge jam and the pivot style, just so that you can see the difference. If you've got a square edge door, what sort of margin you need, because I can rotate that around that pivot point. But the bottom line is, using rough math, if you radius the door, for sure 1/8 of an inch on either side is going to be perfect. If you're going to leave it square edge, you're going to need a little bit more room. The question is how much more room.
No, I'll radius it for sure.
Yeah, so 1/8 of an inch is going to be great, even 3/32, and it's going to that's going to be perfect.
All right. So what made me dig into the videos is I first saw Rixon's hardware, and then I couldn't understand the top hardware, how that worked, and your video helped me understand it. And because not ever seeing it before, well, how do you get that into the top header?
Yeah, what's the secret?
I mean, how do you adjust the screw? And then you explained, how that adjusts from below, but so basically, I just have to take a chisel and hammer and a drill for the actual pivot point. But I just got to mortise that all out of the header, right?
Yep. Yeah, and the header does need to be of substantial thickness to attach all of that to. A lot of people will, they'll send me a detail. Yeah, we want flush doors and center hung pivots, and it's just drywall returned opening.
Yeah. No, I got wood. I got a wood framed opening. So.
Yeah. If you can, you're going to want to use a router as much as possible. But doing one opening, if you would have to invest the time to make yourself a template that you would get secured to the header that you can drop your router into.
Yeah.
Makes for an awfully clean prep, but some people might say, it's one, I'm not awful with a hammer and chisel, I'll make that happen.
Yeah. Right.
To me, I would spend the hour and make the template, but because I would probably encounter the requirement again in my future, so it wouldn't be wasted. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I just, the dynamic of it being up in the air, opposite of how you usually use a router, for me, and that whole dynamic would just make it crazy for me. But, I might just take my time and chisel away slowly at it, just pick away.
Get a really wide chisel. Get a 2-inch or whatever the maximum width you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
For the perimeter.
And you've done a bunch of these, I bet.
I lost count in 1990.
Oh my God.
Well, that's probably disingenuous. 1991, I would have lost count.
But good. Well, is business good anyway? Does the internet help you?
Yes, the internet is where all new growth comes from.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, good. I don't know what else. You sell doors?
Yeah, we do. We do sell doors. Getting something solid lumber is what would be called a stile and rail door. That's how they made doors before veneer technology existed, say 100 years ago. That will prove to be exceptionally expensive to do a solid lumber door. However, if depends on the project that you're doing and the door type.
Well, I don't have to. I'm just kind of learning everything. I've never done anything like this before, so I would go based on your experience.
Do you want the door to be flush, or will there be a window in it?
It's going to be a glass in it.
Yeah. So, so obviously, you want to be mindful in terms of the thickness, but I think that a full glass door or something with glass, it's going to be a trip to a lumber yard to get a door like that. It's something that we technically sell, but I'm awful at it in terms of I buy it from wholesale, and those guys are up, near Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I understand. Yeah. And so what I was thinking was buying just a door with a plain glass in it that's already in it. That way, the decorative glass I want to put in it, I can just pull out the plain and put in the decorative and not have to mess with reconstructing the whole door. You know what I mean?
And you're going to have that decorative glass made to size when. Okay, sure.
Well, yeah. The decorative glass will be a standard size, and then the glass in the door that I buy would be a standard size. I'd make sure they would match.
Yeah, so you'll have to break out the quarter round or whatever is holding it in and put some, if you can not damage it. Plus you're going to paint it so you can, fill it if you have to.
Yeah, right.
The other option would be to take what size door are you going to do?
34 wide by 90 inches tall.
Okay, so 210-7-6. Yeah. So it's probably the only other thing that you could do would be to order a 1 3/4 thick flush, whatever door, birch, veneer, whatever. And then you would take your router and you would cut a large rectangular hole into it. You'd square out those corners,
Yeah.
trim one side with stop, put your glass in, then trim the opposite side. You use a finish nailer for that.
Yeah.
So if it proves to be difficult to source what would be called a stile and rail door in that size, we could get for you a flush 1 3/4 thick solid core door. Particle board core that you would then prep. So that is an option. But you're going to have that obstacle of paying freight from the Midwest, wherever you are located.
Yeah. Where are you located?
Well, I'm in southern Florida, but the factory, it's going to come out of the Midwest, either
Right.
Michigan or Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia.
Oh, actually, I have a plant about an hour to the west, not a plant, but a wholesaler, to about an hour, Austell, Georgia, probably 45 minutes west of Atlanta generally. They stock 3080 doors, and they can re-rail it and restyle it down to 210 by 7.6. So that is possible for that. And if you were even remotely close to Austell, you might be able to pick it up and save the freight.
Yeah, I'm like an hour north of Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So not the end of the world.
No, not outrageous. But doors aren't doors are pretty much everywhere, but I'll see what I can source, but I'll definitely keep your option in mind because you never know what's out there.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your video, and I'm going to buy your pivot set. I'm going to buy the 0128.
Oh, yeah.
And then go from there.
Don't hesitate to reach back out with any, if you want to just tap my shoulder and need a little push over the edge, but just
I might do that.
Well,
I don't want to be a pest, but I appreciate
No.
your help.
That's how we make a living. Stare at the template for 10 minutes, let it,
I have.
stir fry your brain a little bit, and then it'll be like,
It
wait a
will.
minute, okay, it can only work this way.
Yeah.
So, happy to talk at that point.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much, and I'm going to order this from your site.
Thank you, sir, very much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.